My favorite movie, it's a loaded question. It's the worst question ever. If I had to do like a desert island pick, I guess I would say one of my favorite movies is 12 Angry Men, starring Henry Fonda.
Like a three-way tie between like The Godfather, The Empire Strikes Back, and Taxi Driver. I love all those movies for very different reasons.
My favorite movie is When Harry Met Sally, because I met my wife coming out of that movie when it first screened.
I think I'm gonna say Mulholland Drive.
2001: A Space Odyssey is one I keep coming back to, and one that gives me more to interpret and analyze every time I look at it.
Okay, Logan or Spider-Man 2.
I think when I really first started noticing that like how films could just like really be like works of art unto themselves might sound kind of weird, but when I first started getting into superhero movies, I watched Thor and I was like 13, I believe. It was just got real caught up in like the universe, and I'm so excited to see everything come together when Avengers first came out, and I was like, this is great, I like this. Since we're talking about like superhero movies, like Bryan Singer was the director of like some of the X-Men films.
He would like invite younger men, potentially like minors, up to like his mansion in like Hollywood or something like that. I know definitely a lot of like sexual assault allegations are probably against him.
I went to see like most of those in the theater. I did kind of second guess myself going in to that, like just kind of wondering like, what does this mean about me? Like as someone who says they care about the victims, but like here I am and I'm putting money in this director's pocket. That's something I definitely thought about.
Really, the only ones I really care about like are like his X-Men films, because like they are well directed and I like them. I do know that he's like a piece of crap. Well, allegedly a piece of crap, but I can just like disassociate like his name with the work, like focus on like the art rather than like the artist.
Kind of a tricky question, like just like wondering like what is our responsibility in this?
Woody Allen, yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of things that some people say he denies, but I tend to believe what a lot of people say. I kind of gave up on Woody Allen films. He makes so many, and they stop being kind of funny, and there's that stigma that just I didn't want to invest too much of my own psyche into anymore.
Being a fan of Woody Allen and hearing about all the allegations is really difficult.
Because Woody Allen has been in my life one of those filmmakers whose films I've watched more than any other filmmaker, and whose films I've watched repeatedly.
I try to rationalize it more often than someone else who I don't care about.
Are you aware of the allegations against Woody Allen from his adopted stepdaughter, Dylan Farrow?
No.
Sex abuse?
No.
Ben Affleck had a sexual harassment situation. It was minor, but it was still a really horrible thing he did, I thought personally. And it's easier for me to say that I think Ben Affleck's an asshole, because I do think Ben Affleck's an asshole in general.
Shit, I honestly, and I'm a little embarrassed.
I think he as a person is a great comedian and has a lot of great social commentary. But I wonder to myself, am I lessening the impact of what Dylan Farrow and what Mia Farrow went through because of him? Because of my love for him, or is it because I genuinely don't think there's anything there?
This is very disappointing.
You could easily say like the award is just symbolic and it doesn't really mean anything, but it is symbolic because it does mean something.
I do think they should be expelled from the academy, because the academy is like a position of power and respect. You're giving these people this higher platform. So I don't think people who have committed sexual assault or rape should be in these positions of power or respect because they've done something like that. I wouldn't want to monetarily support the artist if they've done that, so I wouldn't want to buy the art, but it's still important to recognize the art and the history. So, pirate the art?
I don't think there's a right answer that applies to all people. I don't think it applies to all artists, and more importantly, I don't think it applies to all consumers, if you want to use that word, or patrons of the arts. Maybe that work touched their life and changed their life in a way that was totally disconnected to other issues. And so I don't think that it would be fair to say for that person, they're doing something wrong because they like this film or they like this painting.
But it's difficult, and I think separating the art from the artist, you have to kind of step out of your fanboyishness for people and say, like, well, you know, do you condone that? And it's difficult. It's hard for me. It's a hard answer to have completely. But
if it's a good work of art, you know, depending on how you define good work of art, the work of art should stand. And if it is associated with some things that are immoral or ugly, that should be part of the consideration too.
We have to like think about like who is going to be harmed if we like continue to like uphold these people as like brilliant minds and like just kind of brush under the rug what they did.
You know, I think that's only human. I think as people, as artists ourselves in certain ways, that's all we can do is just do our best to not understand, but just not try and beat ourselves over the head with it.